Hi guys. Today we will analyze Applied Materials stock, and calculate its intrinsic value using two different valuation models. Enjoy! Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Technical analysis. The short-term and medium-term trends are negative, the long-term trend is neutral. Support level is around $128. Strong support level is around $125. Resistance level is around $140. Strong resistance levels are around $144 and $158. In the last month the stock has been trading between $125 and $165 range, which is wide. It is currently trading near the lows of this range. So, $125 level may be a good entry point if you are bullish on this stock. The stock has an average volume of 8 million. This is a good sign as it is always nice to have a liquid stock. Intrinsic value. Buy low, sell high. We have heard it many times before. But how to know when it's low, and when it's high? The intrinsic value of a stock is its true value. It refers to what a stock is actually worth, even if some investors think it's worth a lot more than that amount. Intrinsic value is important, because it can help investors understand whether the cost of a stock is undervalued, or overvalued compared to the market value of the stock. Let's calculate the stock's intrinsic value. For more accurate results, we will use two different valuation models to calculate the intrinsic value of the stock. Discounted free cash flow model, using the formula below, then, valuation based on earnings per share, 5-year average P/E ratio and expected growth rate. First model, discounted free cash flow valuation. This spreadsheet contains some financial data that we will use for the stock valuation. We see that the average revenue growth rate of the stock has been around 18% per year, for last 5 years. Also we see that the average profit margin of the stock has been around 21% per year, for last 5 years. Also we see that the average free cash flow to net income rate of the stock has been around 96% per year, for last 5 years. And we expect 8% per year average stock market return. Now, let's consider 3 different scenarios for Applied Materials Company: bad, average, and good. First scenario. Applied Materials will have bad performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future revenue growth rate would be a low, 8%. Future profit margin would be a low, 18%. Future free cash flow to net income rate would be a low, 80%. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $66. The second scenario. Applied Materials will have average performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future revenue growth rate would be average, 10%. Future profit margin would be average, 21%. Future free cash flow to net income rate would be average, 97%. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $96. The third scenario. Applied Materials will have high performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future revenue growth rate would be high, 12%. Future profit margin would be high, 25%. Future free cash flow to net income rate would be high, 104%. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $127. Second model. Valuation based on earnings per share. This spreadsheet contains another financial data that we will use for the stock valuation. The current earning per share price for the company is 6.41. Minimum rate of return. I will use 12%. Because when we invest in individual companies, we are looking for a higher return than the S&P 500. For Applied Materials, analysts forecast growth rate around 10% per year in next 5 years, and future P/E around 16. Again, I will use 3 different scenarios for Applied Materials Company: bad, average, and good. First scenario. Applied Materials will have bad performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future growth rate would be a low, 8%. Future P/E would be a low, 14. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $65. Second scenario. Applied Materials will have average performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future growth rate would be average, 10%. Future PE would be average, 16. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $87. Third scenario. Applied Materials will have high performance in next 5 years, and we will use the following parameters in our calculation. Future growth rate would be high, 12%. Future PE would be high, 18. In this case, the fair value of the stock today would be $115. As you can see, today the stock is overvalued, $135, even if we expect the company's high performance in future. The stock is currently a little bit overpriced. I may consider opening a small position when the stock hits $125 to see how it goes, and I'll buy more if it goes lower. Company strengths. Applied Materials is the world's largest manufacturer of wafer fabrication equipment for the semiconductor industry, including products used in deposition, etching, ion implantation, metrology, wafer inspection and mask making. Beyond semiconductors, Applied is a leading supplier of manufacturing tools for flat panel displays, including organic light-emitting diode, or OLED panels. Demand will continue to be driven by foundry logic technology transitions as well as memory capacity growth, benefiting purchases for tools in areas like etch and deposition. The company has the financial strength, market leadership, and global diversity to weather economic storms, which may take down lesser companies. AMAT has a return on assets of 22% and return on equity of 48%. This is amongst the best returns in the industry. Profit margin of 25%. This is amongst the best returns in the industry. Risks. A main risk for Applied Materials, as for other semiconductor capital equipment companies, is the possibility of a general economic downturn and a corresponding dip in semiconductor production related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Another risk for Applied Materials is that strong multi-year growth in memory has now abated, and that demand may not recover as anticipated. The company is exposed to the cyclical semiconductor industry, which means that its financial results can fluctuate considerably. There are competitors that could potentially pick up some orders if Applied Materials is not able to meet its obligations. Two companies that have the scale and size to take business from Applied Materials is Lam Research and KLA Corporation. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.